My name is Stephanie Willoughby, and I'm a family photographer here in the great state of New Jersey. Jersey is full of small towns with big personalities, which is why I want to explore what makes your community special. I'm interested in the stories that your community would tell if it had a voice. This is HomeGrown. Vintage homes, a perfect red mill, and a downtown that could rival any Norman Rockwell painting. Clinton is New Jersey's best-kept secret. A day trip could easily turn into a business venture, a new home, or just a place where your heart feels the most at home. Welcome to HomeGrown, Clinton, New Jersey. Seated on the banks of the Raritan River, this historic village dates back to the early 1800s, where its settlers built farm homes along the rural and rustic land. Thought of more as an exurb of New York City than a suburb of New York City, Clinton is a tiny village with a rich history. The first thing you'll notice about Clinton, besides its obvious historic beauty, are these tiny signs planted all over Main Street that read, "Grow love, and love grows." I can interpret this slogan a million different ways, always coming back to the golden rule. First things first, if I'm gonna be touring Clinton, New Jersey all day long, then I'm gonna need some fuel. And honestly, there's no better place than Riverside Coffee and Tea. If the aroma doesn't bring you in, then the view certainly will.
I grew up in the Northeast in Connecticut, was lucky enough to get to work in and out of Manhattan and spend some time overseas. I met my lovely wife in Thailand when I was studying culinary arts. And then we returned to the States. We worked in and out of Manhattan for a while, and then found an opportunity to come out here to Clinton, New Jersey, have a bit of a quieter life, and find a nice place alongside the river where we could operate a little cafe.
Running a business can be stressful, but operating your own coffee and tea house sounds like a dream to many people. Like, a lot of people fantasize about leaving their jobs and doing something just like this, but you were already in culinary world, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so maybe it didn't seem like such a departure to you, but did it feel like a risk when you were taking it?
It was a big risk. We went all in kind of to commit to this opportunity. We're very happy we did. It's a wonderful community to be a part of. Just owning your own business gives you a lot of freedom. We have a great core of regulars, the townies that are here. But again, because of the activities the town is always doing, there's always tourists, and we're always pleased to get to meet somebody who says, I just found you guys, did a quick search for coffee shops, you came up, or I just came off the highway and crossed the classic old bridge and saw your shop. So I would say, 20% or so of our customers every day are new or tourists from all around the world. It's a real pleasure getting to meet everybody.
Janice, how long have you been the mayor in Clinton?
I'm in my 7th year.
Okay,
my
that's
second
awesome.
term.
Second term?
Yes.
Is there like term limits in
No,
Clinton?
there's no term limits.
That's awesome. So do you plan on being the mayor for much longer?
I'm up for re-election next year, and I'll probably run, at least one more time. I'd like to see that we build a bench and more people get involved in we want to be a younger community.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to get younger people involved and sitting on council with us.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now, are you from Clinton originally?
I grew up here, yes. I went to Clinton Public School, North Hunterdon High School, and I swore when I was graduating I was never coming back.
You did?
And then, of course, I had children, and this was the place I wanted them to experience and have this feel of a community.
So that's one of the things we've noticed since we've been in Clinton. It really does feel welcoming.
Yes.
And a lot of your business owners on Main Street have used the word home, that some of them, most of them really weren't born in the area or from the area, but have moved here because they had a sense of belonging. What do you think it is about Clinton that draws people here?
I think there's a couple things. You've got some of the people who grew up here. There are families that have been here for over 100 years. And they just continue to stay. So you've got that sense of community. There's a history here. People think New Jersey, they think of the Turnpike or the Parkway, but there's real history here. The American Revolution, George Washington stayed over at the Bunnell's Tavern. The very first order of the Minutemen were established at Bunnell's Tavern. So that's kind of stuff that you don't really talk about. The bridge that's outside is one of the last remaining pony truss bridges in the country. So there's that sense of history that people want to be a part of it. They like the sense that everyone comes together. You know your neighbor. It truly, I joke about it being Mayberry, but everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
The kids sometimes like it. The kids sometimes don't like that because, they can't get into trouble. but we look out for one another.
Yeah.
We care about one another. And I think that's what's really important here.
So you probably already know this, but the Red Mill is one of the most photographed places in all of New Jersey.
And the country.
In the whole country, is that right? What made you decide to want to run for mayor, and how have you found that time?
So I've always been intrigued by politics. It's something for me that I've worked on campaigns, and I don't know that I had that said I wanted to be mayor of Clinton. I think the timing was perfect. There were some things going on in town that I was somewhat disappointed in. Businesses were struggling, and there was some disconnect between the government and the community itself. So that was one of the things that I ran on, was that I don't want to see this town go away and have people just use it as a bedroom community. I don't want to lose that whole sense of what we have here, the family. So that was one of the main reasons I ran. The other reason, I'm a huge advocate. I train women to run for office. And one of the things I had seen is there's not a lot of women who run for office. And I have mayor plates on my car, and I don't want to tell you how many people have asked me where my husband is the mayor.
No, you're kidding.
I'm dead serious.
Wow.
And when I say he's not, I am, like, you don't look like a mayor.
Oh.
I'm like, I'm not quite sure what a mayor's supposed to look like. I mean, obviously purple hair makes it a little bit different right now, but the point being is that, I was training women to run. So if I'm asking them to do something, it should be something I'm willing to do myself.
Right.
And women don't necessarily step up and raise their hand. They wait to be asked. Well, that's not the way it needs to work. It needs to work. You have to say, I'm going to do this, and be the one to do it.
Yeah.
So that's been a huge undertaking from the political side and kind of getting people engaged. The government side is, I love helping people.
I love that. And do you feel like, was there any resistance when you were running for mayor? Or
Absolutely.
It was?
Oh,
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I was running against a man.
Okay.
And he had been mayor years ago. And someone said, well, why don't you just let Bob Smith do mayor and you do council, let the guy be the mayor. And I'm like, well, why does the guy have to be the mayor?
Yeah.
I didn't, and unfortunately, it's prevalent in our society that, the woman should be kind of in the background, and I don't do anything in the background.
Yeah.
My goal is to showcase Clinton, to showcase this community, and to show other women that they can do this as well.
Well, it's pretty incredible, because even with resistance, here you sit.
Yes. I knocked every door.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Right.
Not a lot of doors to knock in a small town, but I did knock every door.
Worth it, though.
Yes,
You're
it was.
here now. So let's tell them a little bit about Clinton. What are the things, the draws here?
The store perspective is, obviously the stores are unique. They're not something you're going to find in a mall.
Right.
Which is what's really so important about the community. And some of the businesses have been here for over 30 years.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid going into, it's now called Addicted, but Mary Kaler owns the store. She owned it when I was a kid.
And she owns it now.
And she owns it now.
Yeah.
Her and her daughter run the store. So it's really kind of, to go in there and experience that as an adult. The town restaurant, same thing. It's being passed down to generations of family members.
This is a lot.
It is.
It's a small town, but it's got a huge personality.
It really does.
If you're visiting Clinton, you have to grab a selfie in front of the Red Mill. Locals and tourists alike will marvel at the eye candy that is that gorgeous red building tucked into the riverbanks. The first time I visited Clinton, New Jersey, it was for the Ham It Up Festival at the Hunterdon Art Museum. It invites parents and kids to discover local artists, mingle with a jazz band, and create some one-of-a-kind art pieces. How did you guys come about choosing the artist and actually going with this theme? How do you choose your themes here at the Art Museum?
Well, we have an exhibitions committee, and we are always looking at trends in contemporary art.
So I know that you are the executive director here. Do you have more locals that are coming to the art museum, or is it, visitors? And can you talk a little bit about the people that you see here at the museum?
Sure. People from all over the state, from New York, Pennsylvania, they come to see our shows. We have a reputation for doing interesting contemporary shows, and for people who follow that, they know that if they come here, they're going to see something that's unusual and interesting. And of course, because of where we are in the center of Clinton, we also have a lot of local people coming in, and we have lots of art classes for kids and adults, and those appeal, of course, to local people. We look at art as something that really doesn't have geographic boundaries. We really want to show fabulous, interesting art. So, of course, there are a lot of local artists who fall into that category, but it's not what we focus on.
What is it about this museum that resonates with people and brings them back time and again?
Well, it is a very special place in an 1836 grist mill. So the building itself is very unique, and people fall in love with the building. And it's just a lovely place to show art because it's particularly contemporary art, because we're juxtaposing the contemporary art with the 1836 building, which is on the National Historic Register. So it's really a very special place.
I would love it, Marjorie, if you could show us around a little bit.
I'd be happy to.
Okay, let's go. I'm getting the impression that Clinton is a historic town with a modern flair. Not satisfied with being just eye candy, Clinton's downtown is full of local entrepreneurs who take great pride in the goods and services that they offer. The heart of Clinton, New Jersey is found on its main street and in the town restaurant. Family owned for over 50 years, we stopped by to speak with Dino, the family patriarch and the owner of the town diner, whose slogan just happens to be, "Where Clinton Eats."
The restaurant's been in our family for 39 years. My parents started it back in 1979.
How have things changed, or what kind of change have you seen in the town since you took over the restaurant?
Well, the town's a great town. We have a really good sense of community. It's a good town. It's a small town. It's flourishing. We have a lot going on. And we have really strong businesses here in town. We have about 7 businesses that have been in town for longer than 40 years. So it's a small town, but we're continuing to grow, so it's good.
So Dino, tell me what's the big seller here at Town Restaurant?
So the big seller for us is we're really known for our breakfast. We've been serving breakfast since 1979, so our omelets, our pancakes, our French toast, all of our egg platters. But we also do lunch as well, so we have a lot of nice salads, we have some great sandwiches and some good burgers. Yeah. So we just do breakfast and lunch, so that's what we're known for.
And what would you like people to know who are visiting Clinton and might come into the restaurant?
I would just like them to know that we're here. We're a small town in Western Jersey. We have a lot for them to do. We have 2 great mills. We have an awesome art museum. And we have a really great small town. So we'd love for them to come down and visit and enjoy Clinton.
So yes, a diner in New Jersey is a must, but what if you're looking for an alternative? Something that combines big city ideas with a small yet progressive farm town. Then you're looking for Grounded for Life Cafe, a plant-based cafe owned and operated by Tara Stone Kramer. Grounded for Life is actually truly inspirational and really just not what I was expecting when I came here to Clinton. So why don't you tell us about Grounded for Life and what your cafe serves and what separates you from other cafes in town?
We were born from just a basic personal need, and a 4-year-old at the time who was eating plant-based along with us, and just realized we were going to the same places over and over, and they were great, but you can only eat the same sandwich so many times. I've just always loved the town of Clinton and knew that if I was going to open something, that this was where I wanted it to be. So I left the real estate industry of 18 years and decided to open a plant-based cafe.
And what's your best seller here?
The Grounded BLT, by far, hands down. We could serve nothing but that and stay in business.
One of the first things that I noticed when we came over the historic bridge, besides, of course, the beauty of the town and the Red Mill, is there's these little signs around town that say "Grow Love" and "Love Grows." What does that mean to you?
Grow love, to me, just means that we need to continually be planting the seeds of being kind to each other, being purposeful, bringing passion to what we're doing, whether we're coming down as a patron or we're here as a business owner. Smiling, you can walk around town and say hello to the person that passed you, and they don't look at you with 10 heads like, oh, do I know you?
Right. You're like, yes, you do.
I think because we're off of 78, we really do have quite a variety of people that come, whether they're on their way from Pennsylvania or from New York. It's an easy stop-off point. So we see all different types of people, families, where we don't see that as much in some of the interior towns that aren't on 78. So growing love just means continuing doing awesome things and bringing goodness to the area.
I love it. I feel like even in here, there's lots of fun signs in your business, you know, like the You Are Love sign, and there's also like a Choose Joy sign and many, many others that you guys have kind of around here, and like You Rock, all very positive.
Yes.
How do you feel about your business here?
Yeah, I think just as a business owner, period, the town of Clinton, I have found excellent to work with. They're very pro-business. They're very pro helping you get open and very little red tape. I mean, the forms are very clear, and as long as you provided what they requested, there was no holdup. Like, well, you're going to wait 10 days before you can open, before we can issue this certificate to you because so-and-so has to look at it. They're like, get open, we'll send you the certificate.
So if there were like 3 words you could use to describe Clinton, what words would you choose?
3 words to describe Clinton: welcoming, surprising, home.
Before coming to Clinton, I assumed it was a quiet farm village with beautiful historic homes. I could never have imagined the rich sense of community or the way that the locals support one another. Clinton, New Jersey literally smells like coffee and toast and feels like a warm hug. If you find yourself here, get lost in its beauty and say hello to our new friends. They are self-made and homegrown. You can find us here on TAPintoTV or on Instagram at HomeGrownNJ. I'd love to hear about your amazing town. For HomeGrown, I'm Stephanie Willoughby. We'll see you next time. Tune in for part 2 of HomeGrown, Clinton, New Jersey.